Hi, I'm Phyllis from southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to try to recover this chair that I'm sitting in. Now I've moved it into the living room and I've put down a little drop cloth, which is nothing in the world but an old dust ruffle I had. And I'm doing that because, and I'm going to have helpers I see. Come here, Stevie. So I put down the dust ruffle to catch any staples or little tacks or anything that would get on the floor. I'm also going to do a little sawing with the jigsaw, I think is what it's called, on this chair to get the bottom of it the way I want it. So the first thing we're going to do is mark the material that's on the chair, and that's what's going to be the pattern that I'm going to use to cut out the new material. And I'm going to use a magic marker, just a thin, just a fine point, it says, to mark it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the pattern to be going all in one direction on the material when I start cutting it out. Steely, you're going to have to get down. I'm going to have 3 little helpers, I think. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, you see the back of this? Now I'm going to mark this because of course I'm not going to really use this material again, although I might for something. But anyway, I'm going to mark the top of it as inside, back, top. And I'm going to make a little arrow because it needs to be going in that direction. All right, now the bottom is another section. So I'm going to write on that one, bottom, and I'm going to mark my little arrow. Okay, on the arm, now I'm going to make it, this is the right arm. Steely, get off my couch. Steely, get down, get down. He likes to get on that white couch. All right, so I'm going to mark the arms as if I were sitting in them. This would be the right arm. I'll just mark it right here because I won't be using this little piece for anything else. Right arm. And then over here, left arm. And of course, on the back, well, I'll just move y'all around here. On the back, I'm going to do the same thing. This is the back top. Let me move around in front of you. All right, so this is the back top. And it needs to be going in that direction. So you see, putting the little arrows there lets you know that it needs to be all going the same way on the material. All right, so hold on a minute. Let me reposition y'all. All right, so this is a 1940s gooseneck platform rocker, see? And usually they're upholstered all the way around, but I chose to put this cedar on here just because it matched some tables that I've got in the den. And so what these little sections are the little cedar little boards that you can line your drawers with, and I got them at Lowe's several years ago. And they're simply glued on to the wood part of the bottom of the chair. And I just did that so it would match what's in my den. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take the arms off. Now normally when you were recovering a chair you wouldn't take the arms off, but I want to cut this little board down here probably about that much to make it even with the side of the chair there. And I'm going to recover it a little bit different this time. So I need to take the arms off. Now these are little buttons, can y'all see that? I just call them little mushroom buttons, and what they do is they're covering the screws. So all I'm going to do is pop those off. Now, if one of them broke when I was doing that, that would be no problem because you can buy those at Lowe's or any hardware store really. And I did stain them to match the chair, so I'm going to see if I can't just pop that off. Hopefully. And usually you can just get a little screwdriver, a little thin screwdriver under it, and it'll come right out. Because they're just glued in here with a white glue. Yeah, comes right out. Okay, now my screw is in there and it's a Phillips head, so I'm going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. Let me get this one off now too. All I'm doing is just using that screwdriver to loosen it up. And I've got a little bowl for all my little hardware or things that I need to put back on the chair once I get it recovered. So, in the back here, I think we might have 2 screws, but I just see one. So we're going to go ahead and take this arm off, take these screws out. Let me see if I can get one of them out. Yeah, they're going to come out pretty easily. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get both arms off, and I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and take that cover off the arm right now or not. But anyway, once I get both arms off, we'll be back. All right, I decided to go ahead and take the foam rubber and all the staples and little nails out of the arms. There were 4 screws that held the arms on. Now, the reason that this chair wasn't covered very nice was because several years ago the arms both were real wobbly, and I had actually taken everything apart and I put it out on the street for the garbage men to pick up. And Mr. Bucky came home and said, "What is my chair doing out on the street?" And I showed him that, both arms were broken right here. And he said, "Well, you can fix that." And I said, "Well, how would I fix that?" And he said, "Just put in a dowel." So that's what I did, and used some of the wood glue. Now, the wood glue now is really good. You can glue almost anything back together with the kind of that yellow wood glue they've got now. So anyway, I went ahead and glued them both back, and it works. So I had to bring the chair back in and put it all back together. But anyway, I went ahead and took everything off. Now, the problem that I had the last time, see that foam rubber? That's way, way too thick for this chair. So I'm not going to reuse this foam rubber for sure. But I am going to reuse, this looks like an old mattress cover to me, and that was over the foam rubber. So what I'm going to do is use a couple of layers of batting and use this same little cover because it's the right size. So we're going to lay these over to one side now, because the arms will be the last thing that I do after I recover the rest of the chair. So I'll put those out of the way so nobody steps on them. So yeah, I've got the 2 little mattress cover things that I'm going to use, and then here's the pattern that I'll be using, and of course it's marked. So I know which way it goes. In fact, I don't think I marked it well enough so that I know the direction. Yeah, I think I can tell that, but I'm going to go get my pen and remark these. Hold on. All right, I marked it the direction that everything will be laid in that same direction. Now, if you've got material that's going to be a pattern, I'll sort of show you how to do that too, but there's the right arm, and I knew this was the right way because this end's smaller than this end. But you need to mark them before you take them off the chair, which is what I did not do. I put right and left, but I didn't mark the direction. Okay, so we're going to put that aside. And now the next thing that I'm going to do, I know this chair looks pretty good without arms. It really does, sort of modern. But anyway, the next thing I'm going to do is take off the covers. And I'll take off the back of it first, which will be really easy. And then it'll be a little harder to take off these 2 covers. And I'm going to put some more packing in the bottom of this chair because it was too low. All right, so we'll be back in just a little while. All right, we've got the back off, or everything except the top, but I wanted to show you a little trick on that. But I also, apparently, when I was recovering this before, used part of the mattress cover as the little padding in the back. So I'm going to save that, and it doesn't smell or anything. I mean, it's clean, so I'm going to reuse that. This is in the back. This is webbing, is what you call that, and you can buy this at most places like Joann Fabrics and Hobby Lobby. But I also put new webbing in the back on the other side of it. And when we put the cover back on, what I'm going to probably do is sew the little packing to this strip. But we're going to have to take the bottom of the strip. Let me show you. I'm going to have to undo that in order to get this is the bottom of the back right here. Really it's called a tacking strip, I think, or a stapling strip, if you will. But anyway, I wanted to show you a little trick up here, because if you were reupholstering something that was new, then in the factories now they use the staple guns, the electric staple guns that just shoot the staples. But I wanted to show you, this is the way you can get all the staples out really kind of in one swipe. So just a regular pair of pliers, and I get it started on one end and just hook it on there. Can you see? And then I just roll it. See, it'll pull them right out. Because you're not concerned about the material. All you're going to do is use the material as a, let me give you a close-up. Hold on. All right, I wanted to give you a close-up of this. Just take regular pliers, get it started on one end, and then just grab a hold of the material right there and just start turning it. See, they come out very easy when you do that. Even the kind they put in at the factory will come out fairly easy like this. And you don't have to be concerned, because you're not going to reuse this material. You're going to use new material. So, there we go. And it all came off. Alright, so I see a couple of little staples right there that I need to take out. Right in there. Alright, so now we're going to work on getting the front and the seat off. And then we're going to be ready to cut that little edge off of the chair. And I think I'm ready to take a little break now. It took me, I'd say, about an hour and 15 minutes to do what I've done so far, but I've been working pretty steady. So yeah, that chair would go in a modern house, wouldn't it, without the arms like that? I could see that chair in a deep, rich purple or red. Yeah, that would look good. But that's not what we're going to do. All right, so we'll be back. All right, y'all, it's a couple of hours later, and I've gotten the old cover completely off and pulled out the foam rubber packing. Now, I'm the one that put that in before, because I'm the one that recovered it before. Let me show you what it looks like. Now, I'm also the one that put in the webbing. This chair, I don't recall if it had springs or not. It seems like it didn't. But anyway, there's the foam for the seat, and there's the foam for the back. And I put webbing all the way around. Seems like it didn't have as much webbing in before. But anyway, it was kind of all torn up. So now what I'm going to do is cut this little edge off here. And that way when I recover, I'm going to make a little decorative cording to go around that part of it, so it'll look, I think, a lot neater. So yeah, I'm going to use my little jigsaw and get that all cut off, and we'll be back. All right, we have rounded out this little area that had that little lip on it with the jigsaw, and I think I got it about as good as I can get it. And so now I got to clean up all this mess and vacuum out the chair a little bit, because I'm sure there's sawdust all in that webbing, and we'll be back. All right, I got all that edge cut down and I got my area cleaned up. And the reason I wanted it cut down is because I wanted to be able to have the tacking strip a little wider, and I'm going to put a decorative little trim around there. Now, I did clip a couple of my little tacks holding the webbing on, so I'm going to have to replace those. Probably 3 or 4 of them. But anyway, so we're going to stop for lunch now, and when we get through lunch, I'll have the table all clear in there, and we're going to cut out the fabric. All right, and there's Peppy in here supervising. Yeah, it smells good in here. It smells like Eastern red cedar, which is what that is on there. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little wood glue back behind that little section there. See, that's a little loose, but the rest of them are all okay. I did see one over here. This one right here, I might put a little glue in there. All right, we'll be back. All right, I got a little bit ahead of myself in saying it was time to cut out the fabric for the chair. We actually need to go ahead and put the foam rubber back in, and I'm also going to put batting, a double layer of batting over both the bottom right here and the top once I get the foam rubber in. And the other thing I'm going to do is add a pillow to the bottom of it because it's always been too low. So this is a pillow. It's an old pillow, but it's clean. And I'm going to fit that right in there, and maybe some more packing right in here. And then we'll put the foam rubber on and get the batting on, and then we'll be ready to cut out the fabric. So we'll be back. Let me get this on and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, now we have got the foam rubber back in the chair, and I have stapled on a double thickness of quilt batting. And of course I've got a board that's going to go across here that will be a finish board after we've got the material on. So there's what it looks like, and I'm very tired. We've been working probably 4.5 hours on this. And in fact, it's already gotten dark outside, so we're going to finish this chair up tomorrow. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow morning to finish this chair. There's what it looks like. Yeah, and I did put the extra pillow in the cushion, and it's definitely high enough now. All right, so we'll be back tomorrow morning. All right, we are ready to cut out our pattern out of the material that we're going to use for the chair. And I got Mr. Bucky here holding it for me because it keeps sliding off the table. So what I wanted to show you was we marked the pieces, and also I folded them over and marked the exact middle of it, of the like this is the inside back. I showed the direction, and I made myself a note to cut it a little larger because I've got more packing, at least in the seat. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the inside back top a little larger too. And then here's the seat. And again, got my direction note to tell me to cut it a little bigger. And I've matched up my center points. Now, if you had a design, let me show you, like that, and I did recover this chair, you would have to match up the design in the middle, and then here's the seat coming down, match that up too. So once you match your middle point, you're good to go if you've got a print. Now in this case, we've got an overall design, but you want to make sure everything's going in the same direction, everything. So this is all going down like that, because on a lot of material, once you, if you get it turned around, it might, shine light on it different if it was turned around. So we got it all going down this way, and I'm going to cut my back out. I've also got that going down the same way, and both of the arm covers, and I'm hoping to have enough left to cover a little ottoman, hopefully. And there's the dog supervising. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut this out. After I cut it out, we're going to have a little lunch, and then we'll be back this afternoon and get this material on that chair. We'll be back. All right, we are ready to start putting the cover on this chair now. We've got everything cut out. And what I do is mark the center right there, the center of the top, the center of the back, because I'm going to need that when I start putting the back cover on. So I've got that marked, and the other place, oh sorry, we need to go back here. The other place to mark is right down at the bottom. I've marked it there and there. So that way when I'm putting the material on, I can get it in the center. And also marked it right in front there. So that way I can match up the center on all of this and we'll get it on there right. So I'm going to go ahead and put the back on now. I'll start putting it on and show you how I do it. So I'll have to put you back on the tripod, so hold on. All right, so we're ready to position the material onto the back. And I'm not going to take my pattern off each piece until I'm right ready to use it, because believe me, you can get mixed up on what direction something needs to go in or what piece it actually is. So I don't really take the pattern off of the material until I'm right ready to put it on and I've got it in the right position. So I know that this is the inside back top. So I can take that off now. And instead of marking this material, I put a little notch right there where the center is. So I'm going to go ahead and position this right in the center up on the top, making sure I get it right exactly in the center. Now I've done the same thing at the bottom, and I'm going to take the bottom and shove it in and then match that up to my notch on the bottom. Alright, so there you have it. Now what I need to do is start stapling it. So we'll be right back when I get this positioned exactly right in the center. So hold on. Okay, we have got the top of the back secured. Now sometimes when you're positioning things in the middle, if you get a little off, you can simply take the staple out and start over. So this is like sewing with staples. And what you end up doing is literally sewing material to wood with a staple gun. That's really what it amounts to. So I've got the top on, and now what I'm going to do is staple each side, and I'm going to pull it not real tight so it's wrinkled looking like that, but just gently tight. And when I was stapling up here, I took a hold of this end and started in the middle, stapled a few here, then went over here and stapled a few, and all the time pulling it, not real tight, but tight, because you don't want any wrinkles. Now we've got I guess it's called a fascia board that's going to go over the top of all of this, so that made doing the top easy. So I've got one staple. No, I don't even have one staple in the bottom there, but I'm going to go ahead and put one staple in there to hold it. And then we're going to do one staple on each side, and then we'll do the same thing. Staple in the middle, make sure everything's right, smooth everything down by just continuously smoothing it, and then smoothing the bottom over that way. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this top on, and we'll be back. All right, we have got the back on. I'll give you a close-up. Stapled it right at the edge, and we're going to put some cording around here. In fact, I'm going to go to the store and see if I can find some really good matching decorative cording. I was going to make my own, but I about decided I'll just go buy some. Anyway, there's the back. It's all on, and so we're going to do the seat next. Now, I do think I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I've probably got a good 6 hours into this chair so far, but I'm feeling tired, so we're just going to wait and finish it up tomorrow. All right, we'll see y'all then. All right, it's another day, and I'm still working on this chair. I've been working sort of piecemeal on it for several days now, but I have got the seat on securely now. And what I ended up doing was stapling all around here, just like I did up on the back here. And then I go around with the hammer, a little small hammer, and make sure those staples are all the way in. And of course it has to be stretched, you know, firmly so that when you sit in it and then get back up, it doesn't leave any wrinkles there. All right, so let's look at the back. I'm going to actually turn the chair over. Now I did go ahead and reattach this webbing, and the purpose for this is in case somebody would push on the back. Once you've got the cover on it, you don't want it to, you know, just push all the way in. But anyway, this is the bottom of the back. You can see all those holes. It's been recovered more times than I guess we could count, even people that had the chair before we got it. Because I mean, it's from 1940, so yeah. All right, so we're going to piece the back on there now, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So we'll be right back. All right, so we've still got the little pattern still attached, so I'm going to take that off. And I've got this chair barely balanced here. It's just easier to work with it turned up like this. So what on the back, there isn't any pressure like there would be on the inside back and the seat. So it doesn't really have to be stretched, you know, to do with the getting it on. The other, you have to kind of pull it and stretch it and make sure it's on the seats and all are on securely. So now, because I've got a board that's going to go up on the top of that, a sort of a facing board, all I have to really worry about are each side. So what I'm going to do, I will put some polyester batting on the back of this, but first I want to get it fitted on the back. So to do that, I'm going to just turn the edges under and pin them so that it fits just exactly on the back, and I'll stretch it just a teeny bit when I start putting it on. All right, so, and I think I'm going to probably use a tacking strip to do that, but the first thing I'm going to do again is turn the edges under and make sure it fits exactly. All right, so when we get that done, we'll be back. All right, I have put a little sheet of the batting on the back here just to give it, I don't know, a little substance. And I press down the seams on the back and with the steam iron, and then I've used the tacking strip. And let me just show you that. Here it is. It's just, you know, some real firm cardboard. And on one side I can staple, but the other side I'm going to have to use little tacks to tack it on. But let me show you what it looks like. It makes a real clean looking seam. See there? Real clean and straight. So on the other side I'm going to have to use the tacks, because of course there's no way to get in there with a staple gun and do this on both sides. But anyway, I'm going to put a few more staples in this and use the tacks on the other side, and we'll be back. All right, we're ready to do the other side of the back of the chair, and this is tacking strip. And I've put the little tacks through it about every couple of inches, and what you do, see the little crease that we made in the fabric, so we'd know exactly where the seam would go. So I'm going to, because these nails are right, or these little tacks are right in the middle, see, then we're going to poke the thing through so that we hit that edge of that seam there, right like that. Y'all see what I'm doing? Got it right on that edge where I've made the little crease with the iron. And you just poke it through the material. Then we're going to turn it over like this, pull it tight and tack it down. And I can tell you that it's too short, so I'm going to have to move it over a little bit. All right, I'm going to do that and we'll be back. All right, I finished the back. And I'll have to say it's not the neatest job I ever did, but it's on there pretty tight. See? Yeah, so this is the side with the staples and the little cardboard strip. And then this is the side I had to do with the little tacks. So it's definitely not as neat, but it's tight on there, see? So we're going to leave it. All right, so next we're ready to do the cording, so we'll be back. All right, we have been working on the arms for a little bit this morning, but I wanted to show you how I covered it. I used a little bit of foam rubber. If I can get in the camera, hold on. Back up there. All right. So this is the outside of the right arm. And what I did is used a small amount of foam rubber just on the top of the arm. Then I put another layer of quilt batting, just a single layer. And then I used that same mattress cover that was on the arm before and just stapled it on and pulled it on tight. All right, so I've already fixed the left arm. And there it is. And what I have done is staple the material on. Now you see how the arm is curved in here, which makes it want to pucker, so it has to really be stretched. So I staple one side on first, then the other side, then I pinned it down to make a little seam along there. And I actually used my steam iron to press that seam down. And I'm going to blind stitch this using an upholstery needle. That's why all the pins are in there. And of course, once I do that, I'll take all the staples out and we'll have a clean looking seam. And on the arms, I used a little bit of cording there and just sewed it on to the material there, just to the length of the bottom of this on each side, so I wouldn't have all that bulk underneath, because you end up with bulk anyway because the arm gets much smaller there. But anyway, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and do the right arm now. And then the last thing we'll be doing is gluing on the welding or the cord, the double cord I fixed. So we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, I finished the chair an hour or so ago. Of course, it's already dark. So I'll show the chair again, hopefully, if I can remember it tomorrow after we make our smoothie. I'll give you a little close-up. Yeah, I made the arms not as packed with foam rubber, which I think they look much better. And I got the trim around the bottom of it, all around. Here's that side. I thought that looked pretty good. And the glue gun, the hot glue, did work better. Yeah, I got a little work to do on this. I need a little trim piece to go in there. And same thing over there. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I got a little glue to cut off right in there. And there's the back of it. All done. I just polished that wood. Alright, so there it is. This is a 1940s Gooseneck platform rocker. And it's very comfortable, even though the back doesn't look like it's got that much packing in it, which it really doesn't. But once you sit in it, your weight puts it back at that angle, which makes it extremely comfortable. Okay, so that's it. We'll see y'all next time.